When I Fall by Scarlet Emerald 32. Chapter 36. Talisa and Eugene pulled their wagon to a stop as they reached the road that would take them into Alexandria. They could just see the gates in the distance.
There she is. Home sweet home. Man, I never really appreciated how much I've missed it.
Were you not here a few short days ago? And haven't you, in point of fact, been visiting regularly for months?
Yeah, I have, but that was different. I was coming in as a guest. Now I'm coming home. I still can't imagine being there without Rick, though. I know it's going to feel so empty without him.
While we're on the topic, do you have any thoughts on how we should proceed concerning the general disposition of those behind the walls in relation to our own joyful reconciliation?
I say we take it as it comes. I don't plan on hiding or downplaying our relationship ever again, but I'm also not going to be making out with you in the gazebo.
Eugene raised an eyebrow.
Would that have been a course of action you'd be inclined to take if our circumstances were different?
I guess you'll never know, Haircut.
She shot him a wink as he gave the reins a quick snap and urged the horses forward down the road. When they reached the gates, she saw Tara on the guard post looking down at them.
Think you might be willing to open up for a few OG Alexandrians?
Technically, that only describes you, you know?
Tara replied with a smirk, but she motioned towards the ground, and the gates opened slowly. Once they were inside and had dismounted, Tara climbed down from the guard tower and came over to hug them both.
Shit, it's good to have you here. How long are you staying for? You heading back with Carol this weekend?
She directed her last question to Talisa.
Well, that's not exactly the plan.
Talisa began, but she was distracted as she saw Rosita walk up behind them.
Ugh, I never thought I'd be so happy to see your damn ponytail again.
She stood on her tiptoes to hug Eugene.
The sentiment is entirely reciprocated. But didn't Tara inform you of my well-being when she arrived back from the kingdom?
She did, but it's still nice to see you safe and in one piece, with my own eyes. Both of you.
She nodded towards Talisa, who smiled and gave her a hug as well.
So you were saying about your plan and how long you were staying?
Oh yeah, so, you wouldn't happen to still be keeping my house vacant, would you?
Rosita and Tara looked from her to each other, and then back in surprise.
You're shitting me. You better be serious or I'm gonna kick your ass.
I'm completely serious. It's time. This was always my home, and I knew I'd come back eventually. With everything that's gone down, I know this is where I need to be.
And you?
Rosita shot a look over at Eugene.
Well, being that our diplomatic relations with the residents of the sanctuary have officially gone belly up, and more than that, for all the reasons Talisa has just laid out so eloquently, I'm in complete agreement with her statement.
Oh my god. Oh, you don't know how bad we needed something good to happen around here. This is so awesome, you guys.
Has it been that bad? How's she doing?
She's broken. She hasn't come out of her room in 3 days. Won't eat, won't talk to anyone except Maggie.
Maggie's still here?
Yeah, she says she needs to leave by tomorrow. She's already been away from Herschel for almost 4 days, and it's driving her crazy. But she knows how much Michonne needs her right now.
Yeah, I bet. Well, I've got a lot of unpacking to do, obviously. I'll give her some space for now and go over in a couple hours to see if she's up for talking.
Sounds good.
Rosita looked back at Eugene.
Guess you're probably gonna want your old room back. Full disclosure, I don't live in our old house anymore, and I kinda trashed most of your stuff when I was pissed at you. But Tara and I moved into Aaron's old place, and we've got a spare room you can have.
Oh, well, thank you, but
Eugene looked over at Talisa for assistance. She smiled and looked back at the other two.
His accommodations are taken care of, but thanks for the offer.
The other two women raised their eyebrows in surprise as they looked back at them.
Does that mean what I think it means?
Eugene looked down at Talisa, who smiled back up at him as he slipped his hand into hers and held it firmly, looking back at the other two.
it does indeed.
Hell yes, it is about damn time!
Talisa laughed as Rosita hugged her again and then pulled away to look at them both.
And if you're planning on moving in, that means you're like all the way back together, huh?
Yep, completely and entirely together in every way.
Hang on.
Rosita leaned over and gave her a conspiratorial look.
When you say in every way, do you mean, like every way?
She most certainly does.
Eugene walked back to the wagon and hopped up to direct it towards Talisa's house.
Oh yeah, I totally deflowered him.
Tara and Rosita both laugh.
At least a half dozen times to date, if we're being accurate.
Eugene! Gross!
Rosita laughed again.
Good for you both. I'm really happy for you.
Talisa, you want to accompany me to our residence to get your belongings returned to their rightful places.
I absolutely do.
She hopped back up into the wagon next to him.
We'll see you guys later.
Sure thing. And hey, it's really good to have you guys home.
It's really good to be home.
About an hour later, Eugene pulled the now empty wagon up to the stable and went to unhitch the horses. He looked up and was surprised to see Gabriel walking out of the barn.
Eugene, when did you get here?
I could ask the same of you. Last I heard, you and your litter-inclined lady friend had vamoosed from the camp.
That's not exactly how it went down.
Is she here as well?
No, she left.
Oh, I am sorry to hear that. I know you were quite fond of her, and given my recent bout with heartache, I can entirely sympathize with the sharp sting of losing your lady love. Though, in my case, it did end up working out for the better in the long run.
Gabriel raised a questioning eyebrow.
Oh, yeah?
I shouldn't have mentioned it. I wouldn't want to kick you when you're already down by flaunting my own happy ending.
On the contrary, I think a little bit of happiness would do us all good right now.
He shot Eugene a half smile as he took the reins of the second horse and led it into the barn.
So you did it, huh? You actually got her back.
Miraculous as it may seem, yes, I did.
Miraculous?
Gabriel looked at him pointedly, and Eugene smiled reluctantly and shook his head.
Yes, indeed. While I still find your belief in a higher power that governs the day-to-day minutiae of our existence highly unlikely and frankly absurd. I have come to accept that there are things in this world that defy logic and reason. For me, that's her. Always has been. She is my miracle, and I don't intend to ever take her for granted again.
I'm happy for you, Eugene. Truly I am.
I thank you for that.
Eugene brushed his hand across the neck of the horse he'd just unbridled as he looked over at Gabriel again.
For the better part of the past year, I've been learning to accept the idea that Talisa and I were over, and that I had to move on. I couldn't see any path forward that would lead to our reconciliation. Yet, here I am, moving into a home with the love of my life, and beginning our future together. I don't know what transpired between you and Anne, but what I do know is, even when something feels utterly hopeless, there's always room for an unexpected turn of events. If you truly loved her, I suggest you save some of that faith of yours for her as well.
Gabriel smiled and put his hand on Eugene's arm.
Thank you, Eugene. I'll be honest, I don't know where things stand between Anne and I, but I will say it does my heart good to see you being the man I always knew you could be. I think I might just get you through the doors of my church yet.
All right, let's not get carried away.
Gabriel laughed and shook his head. Talisa looked around happily at her home. It was different from how she'd left it. The Saviors had damaged several pieces of her furniture, but Rosita had told her she was welcome to any of the furniture in the empty houses. In the end, she'd found that the living room chairs in the house next to hers were still intact, so she'd drug them down the road and set them up in her living room. She'd also enlisted Eugene's help in getting a bed frame from the house and bringing it over to hers. They scavenged mattresses over the past year to replace the ones that the saviors had taken, and she'd finished setting up her bedroom. No, wait, their bedroom, she thought with a smile. She was just thinking she needed to head down to the pantry and restock her shelves when she heard a knock on her door.
Come in.
She looked up from her place at the kitchen island as Sadiq appeared in the doorway.
So it is true. You're really back for good?
Sure am.
Well, there goes the neighborhood.
She picked up a dish towel and threw it at him. He dodged it easily with a chuckle and took a seat at her island.
So is the other part of the rumor true too?
I guess that depends on what the other part is.
You and Eugene...
Sadiq looked at her with a raised eyebrow, waiting for her to confirm or deny. She smirked slightly at him and shook her head.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, hot damn. Guess our engagement's officially off then, huh?
What can I say? Hot, mysterious doctor just doesn't hold a candle to his big, sexy nerd brain.
He smirked.
For real though, I'm really happy for you guys. I know I've given you a lot of crap about him, but getting to see you guys together out at the camp, you're made for each other. Anybody can see that. Kinda jealous, actually.
Oh yeah? You harboring some deep, unrequited feelings for Eugene I need to know about?
Sadiq laughed outright at that and shook his head.
Nah, not that. But the whole made for each other thing. You guys just get each other, you fit together so perfectly. Like when you're together, you have your own little secret club that no one else is invited to.
That's what being in love with your best friend is.
Makes sense that I've never had it then. I've never been in love, and I'm not sure I've ever had a best friend either.
Really? How is that possible? Everybody has a best friend.
Well, the Bashar household didn't really put a lot of emphasis on friends. It was all about grades and making something of yourself, preparing for your future. Combine that with the fact that I was the skinny brown kid with the weird religion and dietary restrictions at school. I wasn't exactly the most popular.
That kind of makes me sad. It's too bad no one took the time to get to know you, because in my humble opinion, they missed out on one hell of an awesome guy.
Ah, well, shucks.
Sadiq winked at her as she walked over and pulled a cup off the shelf, filling it with water and taking a sip.
You want a drink?
He shook his head.
You know Surgeon General recommends 2 to 3 liters of water intake a day.
If we're being literal about it, I'm the only trained surgeon left in our current society, so technically I'm the Surgeon General now.
Ooh, Mr. Big Shot, getting me on a technicality.
She took another sip of water as he smirked again.
You know, I could be your best friend if you want. I do kind of like you after all.
Pretty sure the thing that started the whole conversation was the fact that you said Eugene is your best friend.
Well, yeah, he is. But there's a big difference between a platonic best friend and a best friend you sleep with.
And I'm guessing I'm in the first category?
She gave him a pointed glare.
Just checking. And by the way, if you're in a relationship now, you really need to get a handle on how much you talk about my hotness.
Did I say that? Huh. Can't say I remember that at all.
Sadiq gave her a pointed look of his own and she grinned.
I was just about to walk over to the pantry to get some stuff to stock my shelves. You want to come along, bestie?
Oh gee, can I?
She chuckled as she headed for the door. They walked out her front door and Talisa made a concerted effort to wipe the smile from her face. The somber mood in the compound was palpable, and obviously at odds with the light happiness she was feeling.
I feel almost guilty, being so happy and hopeful right now, when he just died.
I get toning it down in public for tax's sake, but you have nothing to feel guilty about.
Yeah, I guess not. It's just hard. I feel so bad for Michonne, and I wish there was something more I could do to help.
I think we're all feeling that.
He opened the door to the pantry and allowed her to walk inside ahead of him. When they entered, they saw Carol standing there adding things to a pack. She looked up and smiled when she saw Talisa.
Hey, you?
Hey, yourself. You getting ready to head back?
Yeah, I'm not sure there's much more I can do here right now. I told Michonne to contact me if there's anything she needs, but she's just not ready. And with how complicated everything has gotten, I think maybe it's better to just give her some time and space to sift through all the layers of this herself.
What do you mean?
Carol shot a look at Sadiq.
You didn't tell her?
I mean, it kind of falls under doctor-patient confidentiality at this point.
I think we're past that. Besides, she's a doctor too. And I know there's some kind of professional clause about doctors sharing information for the well-being of their patients. If you're going to take care of her physically, Talisa's definitely going to need to be keeping an eye on her mental and emotional well-being. And that's a big factor in both.
What is a big factor in both? What am I missing here?
Sadiq turned back to her with a heavy sigh.
Michonne's pregnant.
Talisa's hands flew to her mouth.
What? How far along is she?
About 10 weeks if our calculations are right.
Oh my god, oh wow, yeah, that's definitely a huge factor to take into consideration.
That's not all.
Carol looked up at Talisa with a sad, tired expression.
They never found Rick's body. Daryl and Rosita have been going out and sweeping the riverbanks for days, but nothing.
Well, I mean,
Talisa looked awkwardly from one to the other.
he blew up, didn't he? I wouldn't expect there to be much of a body left.
But there should be something. Blood, debris. They didn't find any signs at all. And until they do, Michonne isn't going to let it go. I'd bet anything within a week, once she pulls herself together enough, she's going to be out there searching with Daryl instead of Rosita.
Yeah, she will. It's hard enough to let them go when you know. I remember how final it felt when I went back for JP's body. If it hadn't been there, I can't even imagine. I'd probably still be looking for him.
You should go talk with her. I think she's letting Maggie closer because she knows how she feels. I'm sure she'd appreciate you being there too, and she definitely deserves to know you're back.
Yeah, that's my next stop after I get stuff to refill my pantry.
She looked around at the shelves full of food and raised an eyebrow.
Gotta say, this place sure looks different than the last time I was here.
That's what happens when you have crops and livestock.
Talisa whipped around and saw Aaron standing in the doorway that led into the house. His left arm was heavily bandaged and ended just below his elbow, but otherwise he looked healthy. Much better than he had last time she'd seen him.
I thought I told you to take it easy for at least another week.
I am. This is my one and only walk across the compound for the day, I swear. But when the princess of the house demands milk and cookies, Daddy gets her milk and cookies.
Aaron walked to the refrigerator that was in the corner of the room and opened it. Talisa's jaw dropped. Inside were at least 3 dozen glass bottles of milk, several baskets of eggs, and what looked to be different types of cheese.
We have dairy products and eggs?
Well, we have chickens and cows.
Aaron said with a shrug that made him wince slightly.
Wheat came in really nice this spring, so we have flour too. No sugar as of yet, but we planted sorghum, and I hear we have our resident agriculturalist back, so that should be coming soon. We haven't had anybody specific to run the pantry since we lost Olivia, but we take shifts and have been using the honor system. You take what you need and always write it down. It's been working pretty well. Our numbers are down and our food is up, so it hasn't become an issue yet.
Yet? That's not a very optimistic attitude.
It's a realistic one. In the end, we are going to need to have someone on inventory.
Yeah, we probably will. But for now, I need to get supplies for my place. So what are the rules?
2 proteins, 3 carbs, and 4 vegetables per person per week. It's all portioned out by category and labeled. Snack system is the same as before. 1 single serve snack per person per day, or 1 bulk snack a week. 2 drinks per person per week. Coffee, teas, and spices are 1 serving per week.
Got it.
Talisa ran over it in her head to make sure she had it all straight.
So, 4 proteins, 6 carbs, 8 veggies, 4 drinks, and then snacks and extras are the same as before?
Double of everything? You got a new roommate I don't know about?
Actually, I have a new roommate you do know about.
So the rumor's true then? You 2 are officially back together?
You know, it boggles my mind sometimes how quickly things can spread around here. We've been back for less than 4 hours, and we've spent most of that time unpacking. How is there already a rumor mill started about us?
Well, I mean, one of the first people you told was Tara?
Talisa smirked.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Well, I'm headed out. I'll see you guys soon.
Give everyone my love in the kingdom, okay?
Carol nodded, coming over and giving her a quick one-armed hug and a kiss on the cheek.
You take care of yourself, okay?
Will do.
As Carol exited the pantry, Eugene came through the door. He looked around momentarily and smiled when his eyes landed on her.
Hey, haircut, you get the horses settled?
I did, after which I headed back to our place only to find you were elsewhere. I postulated you may have gone in search of foodstuffs to fill our distinctly bare cupboards, and it seems I was correct.
You sure were. Anything in particular you're in the mood for? As you can plainly see, there's a much better selection than we've previously been accustomed to.
I'm sure I'll be happy with whatever you choose. You are well aware of my dislikes and also my preferences, and I trust you implicitly. I simply came to find you, to let you know Jacob, the new head of perimeter defense and expansion, has asked me to do a walk of the outer wall with him so he can pick my brain, as it were, about our next steps.
Damn, only back a couple hours and they're already putting you back to work, huh?
So it would appear.
Okay, thanks for letting me know. I'm gonna get our food and put it away, and then head over to see if Michonne will talk with me. You want to have dinner around 6?
I'd estimate our walkabout should be finished by that time, yes?
All right, see you at home later then, I guess.
Talisa looked at him as he took a step towards her, but then looked nervously at the two men in the room with them, watching their interaction. He hesitated, and after a few seconds of awkward silence, Aaron smirked in amusement and rolled his eyes slightly.
Oh, just kiss her already, Eugene. It's not like we don't all know that's what you want to do.
Eugene shot him a shy smile as he stepped forward and tilted Talisa's face up so he could give her a quick but firm kiss.
Love you.
Ditto.
He shot her a wink as he turned and headed back out the door.
All right, now I get the laying low. You two are like lovesick teenagers.
Oh, come on, we are not.
Yeah, you are. But it's absolutely adorable, so I think we can give you a pass on it for now.
About an hour later, after Talisa had refilled her cabinets and planned out her meals for the next few days, she headed down the road towards Michonne's. She still wasn't exactly sure what she would even say to her. She hadn't begun to process Rick's death for herself, and she was keenly aware that she wasn't really in a position to help someone else process it. Not to mention the fact that they hadn't found his body. That complicated matters even more. Talisa knew Michonne. There was no way she would ever accept his death unless she had concrete proof, and she had to admit that Carol was right. As soon as she felt up to, Michonne would be out there looking herself. When Talisa got to the door, she knocked and waited. After a second, it was opened by Maggie, whose face broke into a tired smile when she saw her.
Hey you, it's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Talisa hugged her and then stepped inside. Judith was sitting on the living room floor playing with her dolls.
Hi.
Hey there, Judith. What you doing?
Playing with dollies. You come to visit?
Nope. I'm gonna come back and live here again. Does that sound good to you?
Yeah.
She looked down at her doll again and then back up quickly as if she'd just remembered something.
Did my daddy come with you?
Talisa felt her heart constrict painfully, and she blinked against the tears that came to her eyes.
No, baby girl, it was just me and Uncle Eugene.
Judith looked disappointed for a second, but then she giggled slightly.
Uncle Eugene talks funny.
Talisa laughed slightly, brushing away a tear when the little girl was distracted.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
Judith, Aunt Talisa and I are going to go in the kitchen, okay? You stay here and play with your dollies.
Okay.
Talisa followed Maggie into the kitchen, where she walked over to the stove and poured steaming hot tea from a kettle on the stove into a mug and wrapped her hands around it to warm them.
You want a cup?
Nah, I'm okay.
Maggie sighed heavily as she took a slow sip, looking back towards the living room.
She's been asking about him every day. I've tried to explain as best I can, but she's just too young. She doesn't understand.
God, that's rough.
Maggie gave a huff of agreement and looked up at her with a tired smile.
You have no idea how glad I am to see you. I've been doing my best, and I want to be here for her, but
You have to get back to Herschel. I know. Everyone understands that.
Maggie gave her an appreciative but sad smile as tears filled her eyes and she blinked quickly, looking up towards the ceiling to keep them from falling.
You know, I have been so angry at Rick all this time, but I always thought with time we'd be able to fix it, that I'd find a way to forgive him. We always think we have more time, you know?
It's funny. That's essentially the last thing Rick ever said to me. Not the forgiveness part, but the time part. He told me nothing is guaranteed, so if I knew what I wanted my life to look like, I shouldn't be afraid to make it happen.
And did you decide to take him up on that suggestion?
I came home, didn't I? And not alone, I might add.
A slow smile spread across Maggie's face as she sipped her tea again.
Figured it's time to get started on that next chapter you were so sure I was going to get.
All right, that requires another hug.
Maggie set her cup down, wrapping her arms around Talisa, who hugged her back tightly.
I'm so happy for you. It's good to know at least one good thing came out of this whole mess.
Thanks, Maggie.
Talisa let her go and stepped back with a small smile.
Now, you need to get ready to head home to your little man. I'm going to go talk to Michonne, and then we'll make a schedule up for who's going to watch Judith so you can head back, okay?
Okay. Thanks again, Talisa. I don't know what I'd do without you.
Never plan on you having to find out.
Talisa gave her arm a squeeze and then headed back into the hall and up the stairs. The bedroom that had once been Reg and Deanna's had the door crack slightly. Talisa walked to it and softly knocked as she opened it. Michonne was lying on her side facing the window. As Talisa poked her head in, she rolled over and looked at her in slight surprise.
Hey you, when did you get here?
About 4 hours ago.
Talisa walked around the room, taking a seat on the bed next to her. She reached out a hand and Michonne immediately slipped hers into it, so Talisa could give it a squeeze.
I'm not going to bother asking if you're okay, because we both know you're not. So I'm just going to ask what I can do to help.
Honestly, I'm not even sure. I just feel so...
Lost. I know. You just do what you need to do to get through it, okay? We're all here to help.
That's the problem. I can't do what I need to. I've been here before, you know? When I lost Andre, the only way I could get through it was to shut down, but I can't do that this time. Because if I do, then Judith loses everyone. I have to feel this and stay present for her and for...
She let her hand drift down and then looked up at Talisa, who gave her a sad smile.
You know?
Yeah, I do. And I can't even imagine how you must be feeling about it. But one thing I do know is that you are one of the strongest women I've ever known. If anyone can do this, it's you.
Michonne sighed deeply and looked out the window again.
You know, as terrified as I am to do this without him, as much as it hurts, it's beautiful in a way too. Judith and this baby, they're part of him. And I feel like he'll never truly be gone as long as I have them.
That's a really beautiful way to look at it.
Talisa paused for a second, deciding how she wanted to word what she said next.
So, Sadiq and Carol told me that Daryl is out looking for...
She hesitated, and Michonne shot her a knowing look.
You can say it. He's looking for the body.
I want you to know, when you're up for it, you don't have to feel guilty about joining him. We'll take care of Judith. There's never been a question about that. I know if it were me, I wouldn't be able to rest until I knew, and I'm not half as stubborn as you are.
Michonne gave a small snort of laughter at that and shot Talisa a look, but then something registered in her expression.
Wait, you said we'll take care of Judith. Does that mean you aren't here just for a visit?
Nope, I moved home. Figured this is where I'm most needed right now.
Damn. I'm not even going to try and pretend I'm not glad to hear that. We've missed you around here.
I've missed you too. And I mean it, Michonne. Whatever you need, just ask. I talked to Maggie downstairs. She's got to head home, but we're going to make a schedule for keeping an eye on Judith. You just focus on you and know we're here no matter what.
Thank you.
Michonne leaned over to give her a hug.
You're entirely welcome.
There is one thing.
Name it.
Could you go check in on Negan? He wasn't in the greatest headspace the last time I talked to him, right before Maggie showed up. I can't imagine it's improved since.
Absolutely. It was on my list anyway.
Thanks, Talisa. Hey, I didn't even ask. Is Eugene okay? Tara said he got out with Carol and went back to the kingdom.
He did. And he's perfectly fine, apart from a small cut on the forehead. He came home too. He's out talking perimeter and expansion with Jacob as we speak.
So, if you're back and he's back, does that mean?
Yeah.
Damn, it's about time.
Talisa opened the door to the basement and walked down the stairs. It was darker than usual. Negan had apparently decided not to use the one-floor lamp provided to him. As she entered the room, the cell was so shadowed she couldn't immediately make him out.
Hey, sassy pants. Long time no see.
His voice came from the right corner, where she could just make out his shape, sitting on the floor with his knees pulled up. She grabbed her customary chair, pulling it over to the bars.
Hey, Negan. Sorry about that. I came to see you the day Maggie showed up, but things got a little crazy, as I'm sure you know.
Yeah, you can say that again.
There was a long pause before he finally spoke again.
Is he really gone?
How'd you hear about that?
My tiny window may not be much, but when people walk by, I can get snippets, and it's pretty much all they're talking about these days.
Yeah, he's gone.
Negan leaned forward so his face was illuminated by the shaft of light that was coming through the window. She noticed he was even thinner than the last time she'd seen him. His cheekbones were beginning to hollow, and his beard and hair were both becoming wild and unkempt.
Damn. I hated that prick, but I never thought he'd actually bite it. How'd it happen?
He was helping people, keeping them safe.
Of course he was.
Negan looked down at his hands again.
How's Michonne?
Talisa cocked her head to the side and looked at him curiously.
Do you care?
He looked up and met her eye.
Yeah, I do.
She realized as she read his expression that he was telling the truth, and it shocked her.
We're a lot alike, me and her. We know how to get hard shit done, and sitting still for too long, it doesn't suit us.
Is that what happened with Maggie? Why you wanted to die?
I wanted to die because there's no fucking point. Rick said it was mercy keeping me alive, but it's torture. I want to be done. I don't even care about finding peace at this point. I know who I am. Whatever hell is waiting for me on the other side, I just want to get on with it. And the widow being the one to do it, I don't know. After everything I've done, kinda felt like fate.
What are you hoping for? In your best case scenario, what's waiting over there?
Her. That's all I want. I just want to see her again, for better or worse. When you love someone like that, the how doesn't matter.
I know.
Negan raised a curious eyebrow again.
You lose somebody too, sassy pants?
Talisa hesitated for a second, but then decided there was no real harm in giving him this piece of information. It was public knowledge at this point, and she couldn't see any scenario in which he could use it against her.
I had a husband before.
What happened to him?
What happens to good, sweet guys in this world? Eventually, they all run into people like you, just like Glenn did.
She saw a look flash across Negan's face, but it was gone as quick as it came, and he looked away again as he stood and walked back to the window. Talisa noted how dirty and rumpled his clothes were as well.
Did Eugene know about your late husband?
Yeah, he did.
The light trickling in from the window illuminated Negan's face, putting his hollowed cheeks in even sharper relief as he turned to look at her again.
I know I give you a lot of shit. Hell, I give everyone a lot of shit. Not sure I even know how to stop at this point. But I want you to know.
His eyes softened slightly, and she was surprised by the genuine expression.
He really did love you. Looking back on it, that was my fatal flaw. I underestimated him, underestimated the strength of his feelings for you. I knew he was broken up about you, but I never believed he'd have the nuts to stand up for himself and do right by you. I didn't see how much you meant to him until it was too late.
Why are you telling me this?
Because I meant it when I said I liked you, sassy pants. Yeah, I was yanking your chain a little, but you're something special. And you deserve to know that the man you loved knew that too.
Talisa stared at him in confusion for a few seconds, unsure of what to say next.
What's that look about?
Just trying to figure you out. You don't really fit any of the boxes you should be ticking based off your choices and actions.
What can I say? Enigma wrapped in a mystery. At your service.
Can you do something for me?
I doubt it, but you're welcome to ask.
I'm going to increase our talks to bi-weekly. I think we might actually be making some progress, but I need you to do the bare minimum to take care of yourself, all right? You need to eat and sleep and wash up.
Every other week is a lot of traveling back and forth. You sure you're up for it?
Not planning to travel anymore. I moved back here, so technically I can be available to you whenever you want to chat. But if you start abusing that, I'll definitely put limits on it.
So you live here now?
Yep.
Damn, that's gotta be the best news I've had in at least a month. Well, I don't know. It might be tied with finding out Rick.
Don't. We're past the saying the most horrible thing you can think of to try and get a rise out of me stage.
Fair enough.
Negan sank back down onto his bed.
So we're agreed then? I'll make myself available to you as far as talking's concerned, but in return you maintain basic self-care.
Whatever you say.
Okay then.
She stood, moving her chair back against the wall. She turned for the door, but when she reached out and opened it, he spoke again.
Talisa.
She turned back to see him still watching her.
Yeah?
Thank you.
For what?
For coming back. For seeing something in me that makes you think talking to me is worth it.
Jury's still out on that one. The only person who can make it worth it is you.
When I Fall is a work of fiction based on AMC's The Walking Dead. Any characters not created by the author are the property of said company. The story will continue in the next chapter.